Hello, Star Trek fans, young, old, in between, my age, whatever that is. Uh, I've got a book review for you. The new Star Trek Strange New Worlds Toward the Night by James Swallow. This came out about a week ago, and I got it in the mail, and it's a very, very, very fast read. I'm not going to give away the story, but there will be spoilers in here. Anyone who listens to my reviews or sees what I'm doing, you know that I'm not very good at saying look out spoilers, but there will be spoilers, but not totally spoiled, I promise. All right, well, what is this book about? Just generally. Well, the Enterprise finds a broken down ship in orbit around this planet. And it turns out that this ship is very much like it's the same class as the Franklin in what was that called? Star Trek Beyond. Yeah, it's the same class ship, and it was in a state of like temporal flux or whatever, and so the Enterprise sees it and it's totally empty. There's nobody on board, and then it does this time warpy thing, and the ship is now about 100 years in the past, Enterprise time, and there are a bunch of Makos down on the planet from the ship that was exactly like the Franklin. It's the same class. So you get a mixture of old Trek and basically what bothers me a little bit about this is that it's a very similar plot device as was used in Star Trek Beyond. I mean, so similar that, yeah, like they've got Makos and everything, just like an Enterprise. And it just bothers me a little bit because it's not an original idea. Nothing's perfect. Another thing, just as I'm getting this out of the way now, another thing that I didn't really care for were the planet's inhabitants that these folks encountered. And I'm not talking about the good guys who are in it. I'm talking about the nemesis. And the nemesis in this is the insect. So basically, you've got these enormous killer insects. It's very, very, very derivative of Starship Troopers. So unfortunately, this book is very reminiscent of two films, Star Trek Beyond and Starship Troopers. That is what I do not like about the book. And I'm just getting that right out of the way, straight up. That's what I didn't like about the book. Now, what did I like about the book? More than I liked more. I liked it more than I did not like it. Let me put it that way. Let's see. If you like Erica Ortegas, this is your book. I don't want to give away what happens with her completely, but it's fun. It's time travel-y, and yeah. So a lot of Ortega's fan time going on, which was cool. It was handled very well, and James Swallow does a very good job of, once again, these characters, they have a distinctive voice that you hear when you read their dialogue. That's as much to the actors who portray these characters as it is to the author, who's able to hear those voices in his head and write them down, and then have a reader hear those voices in his or her head. Which, yeah, I mean, as far as like building his characters, he did a great job. Everybody's who they should be. Number one gets a lot of responsibility in this book. She's a lot of fun. There's a lot of Uhura in this book as well, which I'm glad to see. I always love Uhura, and I love seeing how they are developing Uhura, a non-Nichelle Nichols, supposedly pre-Nichelle Nichols Uhura. And it's interesting. And she's an interesting character, and I like her a lot. There's some stuff between Spock and Chapel, but nothing really overt. I think this is my second or third Strange New Worlds novel I've read so far. In some ways, it's the best because I could actually, the story really did propel itself. I got to give that to this guy, James Swallow. He did a great job writing it and having the story just propel itself as you read it. So much so that I was even able to read the non-dialogue prose. Now, that's often very difficult for me to do in a Star Trek book because there's just nothing to the prose. It's just, they did this and went here and did that and that, and there's nothing to it. But James Swallow, like, seriously, I'm not kidding. Like, there are a couple times where his prose actually turns somewhat poetical. Now, I'm not saying he's writing poems in here, but the way in which he's writing, he uses alliteration, he uses assonance, he uses these different kind of poetic ways of writing that are fluid, they work, they're nice, they sound good on the inside. Yeah. So yeah, okay, so major props to him. Good writer. Pretty good book aside from what I said. It has those two major problems. But yeah, out of the Strange New Worlds books that I've read so far, this one really felt like an episode. An extended episode, maybe a two-parter, but it definitely felt like an episode. And for that, for propelling me along with a good story, thanks a lot, James Swallow. And out of 5 stars, I would love to give you 5. I'd love to give it 4. But I'm afraid this time I'm going to have to give this book a 3 out of 5. And that's because of the I'm not going to say ripped it off, but the blatant similarity between this and Star Trek Beyond and this and Starship Troopers. But that's it. So, hey, 3 out of 5. Is that worth buying the book? Yeah, I'd say so. If you like to read Star Trek novels, this is one you'll like as well. And if you're young, I would say, like, maybe if you're 10, oh, for crying out loud, if you're 9, you can read this. And there's nothing in here that's going to be bad for you, okay? Yeah, a kid could read this. As I've said with almost all of my other reviews, this is not Moby Dick. So give it a try if you want. Thanks for listening. Stay Star Trek, signing off.